I used to wonder why some people seem to have all the luck while others struggled endlessly. Then I learned the secret. You don't get paid for time. You get paid for the value you bring. And that value comes from one thing: working on yourself. Think about it. If you were left with nothing today, no money, no contacts, no advantages, could you rebuild? The wealthy can, the successful can. Why? Because wealth isn't just in the bank. It's in the mindset, habits, and skills you develop. Most people are out there chasing wealth, but they haven't yet become the kind of person who can handle wealth. That's why so many who win the lottery lose it all, because they never grew into the person who could keep it. Money will always flow to those who are ready for it. So, here's the real question. Are you becoming the kind of person who attracts success? Or are you just waiting for luck to change? Because the truth is, if you want to change your life, you start by changing yourself. Your income rarely exceeds your personal growth. That's a lesson I had to learn the hard way. For years, I wondered why some people soared ahead while others remained stuck in the same place, year after year. And then it hit me. Money doesn't respond to luck. It responds to value. And the only way to increase your value is to grow, to develop, to become more than you were yesterday. Think about it. Why does one person make $50,000 a year while another makes $500,000? Is it because they work 10 times harder? No. It's because they bring 10 times more value to the marketplace. The market doesn't care about effort, it rewards results. And results come from who you are and what you know. If you want to change your income, you have to change yourself. It's that simple. I remember when I was struggling to make ends meet, thinking that maybe if I just worked more hours, things would improve. But time isn't the answer. Growth is. A mentor once told me, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. That advice changed everything. Instead of just working harder, I started reading books. I started developing new skills. I started surrounding myself with people who thought bigger than I did. And guess what happened? My income followed. Not immediately, but inevitably. Success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. Most people are out there running after success, hoping for a lucky break, wishing for things to get better. But success doesn't respond to hope. It responds to preparation. It's like a magnet. When you develop the right skills, the right habits, the right mindset, success has no choice but to find you. Look at those who have built wealth and lasting success. They didn't get there by accident. They didn't just wake up one day and find themselves successful. They became the kind of person success was drawn to. Take a look at your life right now. Are you in the best shape physically? Are you disciplined with your time? Are you constantly learning, or are you just going through the motions waiting for life to hand you something? Because life doesn't work that way. If you want more, you have to become more. Upgrade your thinking, because your mind is the foundation of your wealth. Every financial problem is a thinking problem first. A broke mind will always lead to a broke life. A wealthy mind will always find a way to create opportunities even in the toughest circumstances. The difference between the wealthy and the struggling isn't luck, it's perspective. The poor think, I can't afford this. The wealthy think, how can I afford this? The poor think, I don't have opportunities. The wealthy think, how can I create opportunities? See the difference? One shuts the door, the other looks for a way to open it. So let me ask you, are you upgrading your thinking? Are you developing the mindset of wealth? Or are you just waiting for things to change? Because nothing changes until you do. If you want more income, more opportunities, more success, start with yourself. Grow daily, develop valuable skills, think bigger, and when you do, you won't have to chase success anymore. It will start chasing you. Discipline is the foundation of all success. It's the bridge that connects where you are to where you want to be. You can have big goals, big dreams, and powerful ideas, but without discipline, they remain just that, ideas. Think of discipline as the daily decisions you make that move you closer to your vision. It's waking up early to work on your craft, even when no one is watching. It's choosing to read a book on financial literacy instead of wasting hours on distractions. It's making the tough decisions today so you can enjoy the rewards tomorrow. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack discipline. They get excited about a goal, but when the excitement wears off, they return to old habits. That's why so many people start the year with resolutions but give up by February. Discipline isn't about motivation, it's about commitment. The wealthy understand this. They don't wait until they feel like working. They work until it becomes a habit. They train themselves to follow through no matter how they feel. If you want to achieve great things, you have to build the habits that support those goals. That brings us to the next key. Your environment. You become a reflection of the people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by people who complain, make excuses, and settle for mediocrity, it's only a matter of time before you adopt the same mindset. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who are ambitious, disciplined, and focused on success, you will naturally rise to their level. Your environment shapes your thinking, and your thinking determines your future. I once had a friend who was talented and hardworking, but he was surrounded by people who had no ambition. Every time he talked about his goals, they laughed at him. They told him he was wasting his time. Eventually, he started believing them. He stopped pushing himself, and his dreams faded. But one day, he decided to change his circle. He started spending time with successful people, people who encouraged him to grow. His mindset shifted, and within a few years, he achieved things he never thought possible. If you want to change your life, start by changing your environment. Find people who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to be better. Read books by great thinkers. Listen to mentors who have walked the path before you. Cut out the negativity, the distractions, and the people who hold you back. Because the truth is, your success is often determined by the standards of the people around you. But even with the right environment, you must take action. And action begins with small, consistent habits. Wealth isn't built overnight. It's built through small daily disciplines. The wealthy have habits that create success, while the poor have habits that keep them struggling. Successful people invest in their growth every day. They read, they learn, they apply new knowledge. They manage their money wisely, avoiding unnecessary debt and making smart investments. They wake up early, plan their day, and focus on high-value activities. They don't waste time on distractions because they understand that time is more valuable than money. I remember meeting a man who had built a multi-million-dollar business. I asked him, "What's the secret to wealth?" He smiled and said, "It's not one big thing. It's 1,000 small things done consistently." He woke up at the same time every morning, exercised, read for an hour, and followed a strict schedule. He saved and invested a portion of his income every month, no matter how much he made. He focused on building relationships and serving his customers. And most importantly, he never stopped improving himself. Compare that to someone who wakes up late, scrolls through social media for hours, spends money impulsively, and avoids hard work. One set of habits leads to wealth and success. The other leads to struggle and frustration. The question is, which habits are you choosing every day? If you want to be wealthy, start acting like the wealthy. Study their habits. Learn how they think, how they manage their time, how they handle money. Because success is not luck. It's a series of small, smart decisions repeated daily. Discipline, environment, and habits. These three factors determine your success. When you develop the discipline to follow through, surround yourself with the right people, and build the habits that create wealth, success will become inevitable. It all starts with a choice. The choice to take responsibility, to grow, and to become the person who attracts success. Because wealth is not something you chase. It's something you build, step by step, through the right mindset and daily actions. It's easy to make excuses. It's easy to point fingers and blame circumstances, the economy, or bad luck. But the moment you start making excuses, you give away your power. You trade control for comfort. You settle for a life of limitations instead of taking responsibility for what you can change. The truth is, your life is your responsibility. No one else is coming to fix it. No one is going to do the work for you. If you want success, if you want wealth, if you want to create a life of meaning, then the first step is to reject every excuse and take full ownership of where you are and where you're going. I once met a man who told me he had been struggling financially for years. He blamed his boss for not paying him enough. He blamed his parents for not teaching him about money. He blamed the government, the system, the economy, everything except himself. So I asked him, "What are you doing to change it?" He looked at me confused. He had never considered that he had the power to change his own circumstances. When he finally realized that his future was in his hands, everything changed. He started learning about money, improving his skills, and taking action. Within a few years, his income had doubled. Not because the economy changed, not because his boss suddenly became generous, but because he changed. Excuses are the enemy of progress. They allow you to stay comfortable, but they keep you stuck. If you want to grow, if you want to become wealthy, you must decide that no excuse is valid. The moment you take full responsibility, you regain control over your future. Now, once you take responsibility, the next step is to learn. But not just learn, apply. Knowledge without action is useless. You can read every book on wealth, attend every seminar, and listen to every mentor, but if you don't apply what you've learned, nothing will change. Too many people spend their lives collecting information but never doing anything with it. They know what to do, but they don't do it. And knowing is not enough. I remember a young man who came to me and said, "I've read all the books on personal development. I know all the strategies." I asked him, "Great, what have you applied?" He hesitated. He had spent years gathering knowledge, but had never taken action. He was waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect plan. But success doesn't work that way. Success rewards action. It rewards those who take what they learn and put it into practice. If you want to change your financial future, start applying what you learn. If you read a book on investing, don't just admire the knowledge. Start investing. If you learn about time management, don't just think about it. Start planning your days more effectively. The only way to grow is to act. And yes, sometimes you will make mistakes. Sometimes you will fail. But failure is a better teacher than inaction. You learn by doing, by testing, by refining. Growth happens when knowledge meets action. That brings us to the next key. Success leaves clues. If you want to be successful, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Study those who have already done it. Learn from their mistakes, their strategies, their mindset. Success is not random. It follows patterns, principles, and habits that have been proven time and time again. Years ago, I was struggling to figure out how to build wealth. I was working hard, but not getting anywhere. Then someone gave me a piece of advice that changed everything. Find someone who has what you want and study them. So I did. I found successful people, read their books, listened to their teachings, and applied their principles. And guess what? It worked. Because success is not a mystery, it's a formula. Think about it. If you wanted to learn how to play the piano, would you try to figure it out on your own? Or would you study a great pianist? If you wanted to become a world-class athlete, would you guess your way through training? Or would you learn from the best? The same applies to wealth and success. Find people who have achieved what you want and model their habits, their mindset, their strategies. Successful people think differently. They manage their time differently. They make decisions differently. They don't waste time on distractions. They don't let fear hold them back. They surround themselves with winners. They invest in themselves. They focus on value, not just effort. And they take action every single day. I once knew a businessman who had built an incredible company from nothing. When I asked him his secret, he told me, "I never stop learning and I never stop applying what I learned. But most importantly, I surround myself with people who challenge me to be better." That was his formula. Learn, apply, and stay in the right environment. Simple, but powerful. You don't have to figure everything out on your own. The answers are already out there. The strategies for success are available. Your job is to seek them out, study them, and put them into practice. Reject excuses, take full responsibility, apply what you learn, and follow the clues that successful people have left behind. That's the path to wealth, to success, to a life of purpose and freedom. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And the best part, it all starts with you making a decision today to take control of your future. Life has a way of testing you. One moment everything is smooth and the next you're caught in a storm. And in those moments, how you react determines where you end up. Some people let their emotions drive them. If something goes wrong, they explode in frustration, or worse, they let fear paralyze them. But let me tell you, emotions are a tool, not a master. If you let your emotions run wild, they will ruin your judgment, cloud your decisions, and rob you of opportunities. A calm mind is a powerful mind. When you're calm, you think clearly. When you're calm, you make better choices. And better choices lead to a better life. Ever seen someone make a bad financial decision because they were too emotional? Maybe they bought something expensive just to impress others. Maybe they panicked when the market dipped and sold at the worst possible time. Maybe they quit a job or business too soon because frustration got the best of them. But the people who build wealth, real wealth, don't make decisions in the heat of the moment. They pause, they reflect. They ask, is this the right move? Or is it just how I feel right now? If you learn to master your emotions, you'll find that your decisions get sharper, your setbacks become lessons, and your ability to handle challenges increases. And that alone will put you ahead of most people. Now, let's talk about wealth. What is wealth? Some think it's just about having money, but wealth isn't about having, it's about giving. It's about value. You don't get rich because you want more money. You get rich because you solve problems, because you serve people, because you provide something valuable. If you focus only on what you can take, you'll struggle. But if you focus on what you can give, the world rewards you. Think about the wealthiest people in the world. They didn't get there by luck. They provided value. They created something that improved people's lives. A great business solves problems. A great leader inspires people. A great investor understands what people need before they even know it. If you want to build wealth, don't ask, how can I make more money? Ask, how can I provide more value? Money follows value. The more value you create, the more money flows to you. And let me tell you, this doesn't just apply to business. It applies to everything. You want to get promoted? Bring more value to your company. You want stronger relationships? Be a person of value to those around you. You want to be successful? Focus on giving more, not just receiving more. The wealthiest people aren't chasing money. They're chasing impact. And because of that, money chases them. But to do this, you must raise your standards. Too many people settle. They accept less than what they're capable of. They stay in jobs they hate. They tolerate relationships that drain them. They accept an average life when they could build an extraordinary one. And do you know why? Because they've lowered their standards. They tell themselves, this is just how life is. But that's not true. Life is what you make it. The moment you decide that you won't accept mediocrity anymore, your entire world changes. Look at the most successful people. They demand excellence from themselves, from the people around them, from the work they do. They don't tolerate laziness. They don't make excuses. They set a high standard and rise to meet it. That's what separates them from everyone else. If you want a better life, set a higher standard. Expect more from yourself. Demand more discipline, more commitment, more effort. And when you do that, life will start rewarding you in ways you never imagined. It all starts with you. Master your emotions so you can make better decisions. Focus on value so you can create wealth, not just chase it. Raise your standards so you stop settling for less than you deserve. The moment you do, success isn't just possible, it becomes inevitable. Life has a simple rule. The marketplace doesn't pay for effort, it pays for value. And value comes from skill. If you don't have skills that the marketplace needs, you'll always struggle financially. That's the reality. But here's the good news. Skills can be learned. No one is born with all the knowledge and abilities they need to succeed. Everyone starts somewhere. The question is, are you willing to learn? Are you willing to grow? Because the moment you stop learning, you stop earning. Think about the people who struggle financially. Many of them are hardworking. They put in long hours, they give their best, and yet they barely get by. Why? Because hard work alone isn't enough. If hard work alone made people rich, construction workers would be billionaires. But it's not just about working hard, it's about working smart. It's about developing skills that the world rewards. Whether it's communication, leadership, problem solving, sales, investing, whatever field you're in, the more valuable you become, the more the marketplace will pay you. I remember when I started out, I had no money, no influence, no special talent, but I made a decision. I would become valuable. I started reading books, attending seminars, learning from mentors. I sharpened my ability to communicate, to lead, to sell, to teach. And what happened? My income changed because my value changed. That's how it works. If you want to earn more, you must learn more. If you want to move ahead, you must grow ahead. There's no other way. And it never stops. The world keeps evolving. The economy shifts. Industries change. Technology advances. If you don't keep upgrading yourself, you'll be left behind. And this brings us to something even more powerful. Your habits. Because it's not just about what you learn once. It's about what you do daily. Success is not one big event. It's the result of small habits repeated over time. Your daily routine is a preview of your future. If you want to know where your life is headed, look at your habits. Are they leading you toward success, or are they keeping you stuck? Successful people have success habits. They wake up early. They read. They exercise. They plan their day. They invest in their mind. They take action. It's not magic. It's habits. The people who struggle have different habits. They hit the snooze button. They procrastinate, they waste time, they spend money they don't have, and then they wonder why nothing changes. But here's the truth. Change your habits, change your life. I used to have bad habits too. I'd waste time on things that didn't matter. I'd put things off. I wasn't disciplined with my money. And my results reflected that. But the day I changed my habits, everything shifted. I started waking up earlier. I started reading more. I started setting goals and tracking my progress, and little by little, things improved. It wasn't overnight, but the results were undeniable. If you want to be wealthy, you must develop the habits of wealth. Study the habits of successful people and model them. Start small. Read for 30 minutes a day. Invest a portion of your income. Wake up an hour earlier. Plan your day the night before. These small habits done consistently will completely transform your life, because success isn't about what you do once. It's about what you do daily. And ultimately, all of this comes down to one thing: responsibility. Your life is your responsibility, your wealth, your success, your future. It's all in your hands. Too many people go through life blaming others. They blame the government, the economy, their boss, their family, their past. But the moment you blame something outside of yourself, you give away your power. Because if it's someone else's fault, then that means you have to wait for them to change before your life can get better. But if you take responsibility, everything changes. Because if you created your current reality, you can create a new one. I've met people who blame their parents for their financial struggles. And I understand, maybe they didn't teach you about money. Maybe they didn't set you up for success. But let me tell you something. If you're an adult, your financial situation is no longer your parents' fault. It's yours. Some people blame their employer. They say, my boss doesn't pay me enough. But here's the question. Why are you still there? If you're not being paid enough, learn new skills, increase your value, find new opportunities. But don't sit around and complain. Complaining changes nothing. Taking action changes everything. The most successful people in the world take full responsibility for their lives. They don't wait for circumstances to change, they change themselves. They don't make excuses, they find solutions. They don't see themselves as victims, they see themselves as creators. And because of that, they control their own destiny. Everything you need to succeed is already within you. The marketplace is waiting for you to develop your skills. Your habits are shaping your future right now. And the moment you take full responsibility for your life, your wealth, and your success, everything changes. Most people want success, but they want it fast. They want wealth, but they're looking for shortcuts. The problem is real wealth Doesn't work that way. The wealthy understand something most people don't. Success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not about quick wins. It's about long-term thinking. The average person is focused on today, this week, maybe this month. The wealthy, they're thinking in years, decades, even generations. They play the infinite game. Take money, for example. The average person thinks, how can I make more money right now? The wealthy think, how can I build something that keeps making money long after I stop working? That's why they invest. That's why they build businesses. That's why they focus on assets instead of liabilities. They aren't chasing the quick dollar. They're building a foundation for lasting wealth. It's the difference between planting a tree and picking fruit. The impatient person wants the fruit today, but the wise person plants the tree, waters it, nurtures it, and years later that tree produces fruit season after season. The same applies to every area of life. A strong body isn't built in a week. It's built through consistent effort over years. A great marriage isn't created in a moment. It's the result of years of trust, love, and commitment. Wealth is no different. It's built through discipline, patience, and the ability to delay gratification. That's why most people never get there. They want results now, and if they don't see them immediately, they give up. But those who play the long game, those who stay committed, those who keep planting the seeds, those are the ones who eventually reap the harvest. And if you want long-term success, there's something even more important than strategy, even more valuable than knowledge: integrity. Because success isn't just about money. What good is wealth if no one trusts you? What good is opportunity if your reputation is in ruins? Trust is one of the most valuable assets you can build. If people trust you, they'll want to work with you, invest in you, do business with you. But if they can't trust your word, if they can't rely on you to do what you say you'll do, you might win in the short term, but you'll lose in the long run. Integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about being honest. It's about doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It's about keeping your commitments, following through on your word, and making decisions that align with your values. I remember early in my career, I had an opportunity to take a shortcut, to make some easy money, but something didn't feel right. I turned it down, and at the time I wondered if I made the wrong decision. But years later, that same decision led me to bigger, better opportunities, ones that lasted, because people knew they could trust me. If you want lasting wealth, think long-term. Build your reputation. Play the infinite game, because while others are chasing quick wins, you'll be building something that stands the test of time.